Hi, I'm Ben Pollard, and I work here at the Lewis and Clark State Historic Site. Today I want to talk some more about the team building going on here at Camp River du Bois. As Lewis and Clark and their soldiers are preparing for their expedition, they're getting supplies ready, they're doing work, they're recruiting the last few people they need, they realize that they just have too much supplies. They've already got their keel boat, like the replica you see behind me, and two other pretty large boats, the pirogues, that are all going to be chocked full of supplies, up to about 30 tons. And so the captains and their soldiers, they know are not going to be able to move all the supplies on their own. But it's the bare minimum they think they need to be successful on their trip. So Captain Lewis, while he's in St. Louis, is going to have to hire some people on to help move the supplies from point A to point B. And so what he's going to do is he's going to talk to the locals and hire on some of the French boatmen in the area to become engagés, or people engaged to do work for the expedition. Now, these engagés are pretty common around here. St. Louis and Cahokia are hubs for the fur trade, and so all of these men from St. Charles, St. Louis, Cahokia, Kaskaskia, they have already been going up and down river for a number of years, traveling up and down the Missouri, dealing with all these different tribes along the way. So Lewis and Clark are not only going to take their expertise in navigating the waterways, they're also going to use them to get a little bit of cultural knowledge and maybe some translation assistance on the expedition as well. These guys' skills don't come cheap, though. Lewis has a hard time finding any to hire on because they've got lucrative deals with some of the fur trading companies already in the area, like Manuel Lisa's, the Chotos, and some of the others. And so Lewis has to turn to the Chotos to actually find enough engagés for this trip. And what he ends up doing is paying them to allow some of their boat hands to go on this expedition instead. It looks like he paid them both for their service in finding them, but also to pay out the fees for these boatmen. Like I said, they're not coming cheap because they're bringing all the skills to this expedition. Now, they're going to be very different looking. They're not going to wear the uniform like I'm wearing or the more formal uniform of the U.S. Army. They're not soldiers, but they will be within the military hierarchy. They're broken into the Red Pirogue. They get their own boats. The soldiers are going to be the other two boats. A man by the name of Detachment is going to be the one that is in charge of that pirogue. He acts as a sergeant of sorts to these engagés. And they have to do everything the soldiers do. They'll probably take turns at guard duty. They'll have to go get supplies. They have to portage goods. Not only are they just moving the contents of their boat upriver, but they have to be available to help with the other materials as well. Everything falls within that military hierarchy here on the expedition. Now, these engagés are only going up to Fort Mandan. They never intended to take them any further than that, because by that point they'll have burned through a lot of their food and other supplies, their trade goods, and they'll be able to send the keelboat back. So some of those engagés will stay over the winter with the expedition and help take that boat back down river to St. Louis. Others will stay at Fort Mandan or some of the other nearby tribes and do some fur trading and then come back on their own. So they were using it kind of as a way to work their way upriver, make some money on the way up, and then collect on some furs and bring them back down as well. So these guys would look very different. They add a whole bunch of other unique languages and knowledge sets to the expedition. But without them, the expedition could not have started with all the supplies that they would have needed. I want to thank you for watching today, learning more about the team building going on here at Camp River du Bois. If you want to find out more, you can check out our series of videos called Building the Team, or our other videos on our YouTube page or on Facebook. Thanks for watching.